If you've ever experienced a herniated disc or any form of sciatica, you know how brutal the pain is. And for 2 years, I couldn't sit at my desk. 2 years ago that summer, I experienced pain like I've never experienced in my life. Went to the hospital, I did 16 hours so I could get that MRI, and then went through the worst 3 months of my life, physical pain-wise. I don't ever want to go back to that place. It was taking me 40 minutes just to get out of bed. I was only sleeping in half an hour increments. Oh my God. The thing is, like, you know, a lot of injuries, like for me in my experience, like I've always come back from them pretty quickly. But when you're in the thick of the herniated disc situation, weeks on months, and it feels like it's getting worse, it's really hard to hold on to any level of faith. And from that point forward, sitting has been one of the hardest things for me to do, which turns out we do a lot of it in life. As much as it looks like with, you know, the photographer, videographer life that you're out and about doing all kinds of cool things and shoots, 70 to 80% of it is sitting at a desk, editing, emailing, invoicing. So I basically had to completely rework how I did things. Eventually I was able to stand, but for the first 8 months, it was laying on my stomach. Every video, every photo, everything I did was laying from my stomach, which is not an ideal situation and has side effects to your neck and your shoulders, which eventually led to me getting regular migraines, a bunch of other pains and problems because I was constantly on my elbows working at my laptop. You know, the first 8 months was a lot of laying on my stomach, and then I was eventually able to stand more at this desk. And so it was a mixture of standing and laying on my stomach and then mostly standing, which is good, but it's hard to do standing for 8 hours or 12 hours, which is the case with a lot of video editing sessions. The only thing that got me back to a place of even being able to stand and not lay on my stomach was walking and stretching and doing my monkey bars every day. And then in October of last year, I was introduced to Anthros, a really awesome office chair, gaming chair company. A friend of mine who was also experiencing back problems had said he had got the chair and that it was an, you know, game changer for him, which you don't take lightly in the world of a herniated disc and sciatica, because really nothing has been a fix to me. But if someone else with that injury is finding a positivity from it, I was willing to take a shot at it. So I ended up connecting with the team at Anthros, and honestly, they were incredibly supportive right from the beginning. What stood out to me most was they weren't just interested in sending me a chair for a collaboration. They genuinely cared about whether it might actually help me feel better. So at the end of October, the chair arrived and I was very hopeful, but also somewhat cautious. Because when you've been dealing with pain like this for so long, you learn pretty quick that there's rarely a magic fix, as I have tried them all. Here we go. You can see it's quite the packaging for this sucker. I hope this chair works because I feel like I'm gonna need it after I put it all together.
And the first step is I want you to kind of go booty first, sit nice and deep in here.
What? Whoa, I didn't know we did. Okay, hold on. This chair has some new love from me. But something happened pretty quickly. For the first time in a year, I was able to sit at my desk again. And I remember thinking how incredible it felt just to be back in a normal working position again. 1 week into having this new Anthros chair, and I am very impressed. Just as an initial kind of thoughts on it, it is like the comfiest and I think most supportive office chair I've ever had, which I've worked in many, including my former corporate life, but this is different. It's been very nice for the past week to be able to not be on my stomach and not have to stand here, because this is my honest opinion about the build. Whether it fixes me, I'll give you that honest opinion too. But after a couple of weeks, I was reminded of something very important. Even though the chair was incredibly supportive, my body still needed balance, and I couldn't just go from 0 to 100. And then winter was approaching, and because of that, I started slacking on my walks. I wasn't hanging from the monkey bars as much as I should be, which should be every damn day. It's my decompression kind of tactic, and I was doing it, but I wasn't doing it enough. I was in the thick of a couple projects, and I just was putting maybe too many hours into the chair and started feeling some pain and wondering if was the chair contributing to that. And then I just realized, you know, that wasn't the case. The reality is my body is still recovering. Still need the balance of using this as a standing desk, movement, walking, exercise, stretching, water, good posture. All of these things are combined to help you feel better. No one element can be the magic fix. All right, so we're back again a few weeks later now. I think if you were a normal person who didn't have a herniated disc and this was your chair before you had such an injury, then I feel like this chair would be very helpful in being preventative from you having the problem that I'm in now. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm a little deep into this situation and my pinched nerve sciatica pretty stubborn. So I think I just got to keep balancing it, and maybe I'll actually get the luxury of sitting in this more often. And so I started pulling back from chair time and using standing desk again, and got into January, and again was focusing on my walks even in the cold, hanging from those monkey bars in minus 20 degrees, but I kept pushing forward with it. And by the end of January, I was able to sit in the chair again. I was working on some big projects that just needed my head down, focused on editing, and I was doing it for long days in this chair. And if I felt some pain, I would get up, do stretches, go for a walk, come back. So back with another update, a month of actually feeling like some progress. You know, we are 20 months into this, taking Advil and Tylenol every single day. That said, like this chair, it's the only place that I can sit back besides my car. I'm feeling good. I have faith that this is coming along and that my best state of healing is I'm almost there. And I think what was surprising me throughout that process was that I did slightly feel better week over week. The smallest of increments, but I was putting long hours in here at the office in the chair and not getting worse. So taking that as a win. And also another milestone was not needing round the clock Advil and Tylenol. It'll be 2 years in May 2026 that I've been dealing with this. So take every win you can get when they start to feel huge at certain times. Why this chair works for me and why it might work for you is lower lumbar support. That support in the lower part of the back makes a massive difference in keeping my spine aligned and preventing that kind of collapsing posture that a lot of chairs allow. It's honestly one of the most comfortable seats I've ever worked in, and when you're sitting for long periods of time editing video, that comfort really matters. And the way the chair stabilizes your pelvis helps maintain a much healthier sitting position overall. And for someone like me, or maybe you, dealing with a herniated disc, that kind of support is incredibly important. It's been almost 2 years since I first injured my back, and I am so grateful and happy to say that I am finally sitting at my chair on a more regular basis. Still needing to get up and get out and do my stretches, do my walks, do my thing. But this chair has allowed me to sit in a way that most other chairs out in society do not allow. I don't sit on my couch, I lay on it. I sit here and I sit in my car. In my car, I have a rolled up towel in my back, and here I have the medical version of that. And once again, shout outs to Anthros for actually being invested in my recovery and not just wanting a quick collaboration. And the team there was really excited to work with me, but in a way of like wanting to actually physically help me and having patience for the process, because as you know, with the herniated disc, it's a long thing. It could be with you for your life. So this was not by any means a guarantee that I was even gonna be able to use this chair. And like I said, at the beginning, I maybe used it too much and then I pulled back and didn't even sit in it barely at all. But they had patience. I appreciate it because maybe they had more faith than I did that I was gonna be able to sit back in this chair. I'm so grateful to be sitting here today, making this video from an authentic place that I'm actually feeling better. I know recovery is not over. I need to still stay on top of this forever, but for the moment, it's nice just to be sitting back in a chair and talking to you. I think the biggest lesson that I've learned through this entire recovery process from a herniated disc and the sciatica that I still deal with to this day is that there is no one single solution. It really is a combination of things. Movement, strength, stress management, good posture, and having the right tools to support your body while you work. And for me, the Anthros chair has definitely become a big part of that equation. And if you're also someone dealing with back pain or sciatica, I hope you hold on to hope and that you find something that can help you feel better. And I would recommend you start with proper lumbar support from a chair like this. And if you're curious about the chair that I'm using, I will leave the link in the description. And if you've gone through a similar back injury or sciatica journey, I'd actually love to hear about it in the comments. Your stories, your feedback, your recommendations on what you did to make it work. And trust me, I know how frustrating the process can be. And sometimes it just helps knowing you're not the only one dealing with it. But there is a community of people that want to help you, and I hope this helps you. Peace.